What's going on, everyone? Derek Spallone here of Spallone Sports, here at the 4th annual Robert Covington basketball camp at Proviso West High School. We're glad to be joined by a special guest, special appearance, Minnesota Timberwolves head coach Ryan Saunders. Ryan, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm glad to be here.
Great. Thanks for taking the time out.
Absolutely.
First and foremost, I know you are very active in giving back camps and clinics. What has this experience been like for you today?
You know, it's been in the middle of summer, and when you have this many kids, it's been really well run. I mean, it's really impressive to be out here. I love being a part of these things, especially when players I know that have a heart for service, like Robert, are able to give back to their own communities that did so much for them. I think it means a lot.
Yeah. And how special is it for you, as you mentioned, like you know these guys as a player, but more importantly as an individual, to now see the campers and the coaches get to know Robert as an individual too?
It's very important because he has so much to give, not just on the basketball court, but off the basketball court.
Right.
And that's one of our things in Minnesota we try to stress is we want to get to know the player before we get to know the person before we know the player.
Right.
And that goes a long way, and that can trickle all the way down to youth camps where young athletes, young kids feel that sense of purpose and sense of pride.
Yeah. Definitely, absolutely. I think you hit it right on the head. And is there a specific drill on display that you've seen today that brings back some childhood memories for yourself?
A little bit of everything. Yeah. I mean, the passing drills, but the box out drills. I remember, the box out drills. You skin your knees up, and they'll be stinging when you sweat the rest of the day because you're hitting. And if you're playing hard, you dive on the floor for that loose ball because you want that rebound that bad. You'll be feeling that the rest of the day.
Yeah, it builds some character.
Builds some character too. Yeah, little bumps and scrapes. They'll heal.
Yeah, grit and grind, right? You got to keep it rolling. So definitely. No, just a couple more questions for you. I know we discussed briefly on our walk over here about your journey. Youngest NBA coach in NBA history, about to embark on your first full season.
Full season, yeah.
What are your expectations and
Yeah, I mean the expectations for me have been the same since I took over this post, and that's ultimately you want to build a championship caliber team to compete, but with that you can't skip steps. So taking everything day by day, I'm a huge proponent in win this day and tomorrow will take care of itself. That's something we stress to players, as with our staff, and just as a whole within our organization.
You mentioned the word steps.
Yeah.
What would you say is the first step? I know there's several, but first step, the most crucial step.
And really drilling in what our identity is as to be a Minnesota Timberwolf. And that goes from the players with the coaches and ultimately the collective then as a group. So with that, we want to be a tough-nosed team. We feel we have a hungry group of guys. We're a young group with something to prove, and we understand that that it'll be a process through the ups and downs, but we feel very good about where we're going.
When you reflect back on your journey and how far you've come, what would you say has been the biggest life lesson you've learned through your respective experiences?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest life lesson I've learned is probably to make sure you don't get too high and don't get too low. I think it's important to stay even keel, and I say that as a professional, but as a young player and a youth, I'd say you should always stay energetic and stay positive with it. You shouldn't be down about the losses, things like that. You're competitive, but basketball, it's supposed to be fun. That's the first thing, and if you work your way into being a pretty good player, then you can start thinking about the serious things that come with it. But for right now, it's just fun for me to see these kids make friendships and build towards their next school year.
And you hit on that too, talking about the youth. As someone growing up who had dreams and aspirations and achieved your goals, what would be your biggest piece of advice to the youth when it comes down to them setting goals and taking steps towards their dreams?
Yeah, I mean, just that right there, set goals. Have written goals, have a plan. If you don't have a plan, it's just a wish. So have a plan, but then also surround yourself with people who are gonna help enforce that plan. One, that are gonna hold you accountable in the right ways, but then two, people who are not gonna bring you away from that path and make you stray. I think that's really important to surround yourself with good people.
Yeah. To have that support system, right?
Absolutely.
100%. And before we let you go, this is one question we always like to ask. It might be our first time asking a coach this question, but we like to ask the players a lot. But in your instance, what's one thing about Coach Saunders that not many people know that you can share with us, a special hobby or interest for yourself aside from basketball? I know basketball takes up a large chunk of your life, but is there a specific activity?
Oh man. I'd say probably that I don't do much else other than besides basketball and be with my family with things. But one thing I love to do is fish. Fish and live. If my wife would let me, I'd want to a place on the lake that's about 2 hours from downtown.
Gotcha.
Just be living a little more, remote, where you can do all those outdoors things and just enjoy the peace and quiet of things. But I love being in Minneapolis. So
that's awesome. Well, I was going to say Minnesota has the land to do it, right?
Yep. So we got a cabin about an hour away from downtown Minneapolis, so we're able to escape too.
It's a nice time, like you said, to escape and get away from the everyday routine from time to time when you can, when your schedule is not overly intense. But well, hey, Coach, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for giving back and coming out. And
absolutely. Thanks a lot for having me.
Wish you the best this season.
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.